Have you ever looked at a regex pattern and thought, what the heck is this? What are all these symbols? What do they all mean? And how on earth am I supposed to make sense of all of this? If that sounds like you, then good news, because this video is designed exactly for you. Today we're going to go through regex from top to bottom, from the very beginning. So grab hold of your notepads and let's get into it. Well, the first thing that we want to go through is, what exactly is regex in the first place? Well, regex is short for regular expressions, and it's a sequence of characters used for searching, validating, and extracting text. This makes it incredibly useful for things like validating email addresses, extracting web links from a document, or you could even use regex in a lookup table. It's that powerful. The great thing about regex is that it's language independent, so many different programming languages can make use of it. In fact, later in this video, we're going to go through a few different Python examples, so you can see how basic programs can make great use of regex. But first off, let's look at the absolute basics of how regex works. And for that, I'm going to use a tool called Regex 101. Okay, so this is regex101.com, and Regex 101 is typically the website that I will use to test and demonstrate my regex patterns when I've built them. It's a website with a fairly simple user interface. At the top, we have our regex pattern that we'd like to use, and we've got a test string box below where we can put in a whole host of strings to be able to test the regex pattern and see exactly how it performs. So the first and most basic example that I want to go through is something called a literal match. Now this is simply you put in a string and does that string exist in the test string? If so, match it. If not, don't match it. So for example, if I wanted to put in the string dog and I tested this on just the string dog, there will be a match. And we'll see that there's a match because there's this green box here in the top right corner that says one match. Equally, if I type in a longer string that says, for example, a grey dog and a brown dog, then we'll see that there's two matches because the string dog has matched both with the grey dog and the brown dog. So we see that there's two matches. What's important to note here is that we're looking for the string dog rather than dog being an entire word on its own. What I mean by that is if we were to make it dogs, that would still match because the word dog, or rather the string dog, is still contained within that. And that can be the same for if there's letters before that as well. So for example, if we were to make it hot dogs, it would still match on the dog part of that word. So I've got a quick test for you then. If I was to put in the string that says, there are two dogs, a grey dog and a brown dog. Dogs are great. How many matches do you think that there would be? I'll give you 5 seconds to have a think about it. Okay, so if we paste in the string, we see that there's actually 3 matches. Now, don't worry if you actually guessed 4 or maybe you guessed 2. I did trick you a little bit with this one. So the word dogs still matches, as we said before, because the word dogs contains the word dog. Obviously, we've got 2 instances of the word dog as well. However, this word dogs does not match. Now, why doesn't that match? Well, we're looking for the specific string dog, or rather lowercase d, lowercase o, lowercase g. Whereas in here, we've got uppercase d, lowercase o and lowercase g. So if I was to make this a capital D, for example, that would match on the capital D in dogs. Equally, if we made that back to lowercase dog and we changed this uppercase D to a lowercase d, we see that now there's 4 matches instead of 3. So don't worry too much if you got 4. Hopefully you understand why it is actually 3 and there isn't a 4th there. Now you can have a play around with this in your own time on Regex 101, but for now let's move on to something a little bit more difficult.